Tara wants to know if you solved the homeless problem.
Not yet. It's a never-ending.
Down.
It's so hard. Now it's gotten worse.
Yeah, it's just going to get pushed someplace else downtown.
Especially when we kick them out of the park.
Yeah.
Did go by and drive by and take a look at them yesterday. Who's that?
You mean for their summer camp?
Sent Larry Rain's photos. I said, Larry, this is embarrassing.
Well, yeah.
Then I apologized this morning.
Then they have to design and do art, and then
I'll
they'll
come
use
to
the
work
Sphero.
at 6 in the morning and I'll be on the
It has to
driveway
hold the
covered
Sphero
up.
in it, so
There
they
could be a
can
lot.
drive their
They
cars,
have a
they
smartphone
make
and they use the
Sphero.
free Wi-Fi down. I'm like, I missed the memo
Try to
on
get them to do
homelessness.
that.
And
Show
they're
us
free?
that. It's like now they're tired of hearing remember what we talked about. I'm like, it's like really funny because like even in the Angels, like I made a business card holder, I was like,
What's that?
Cooper Payne.
That's my brother's.
It's your brother, okay. Doesn't put you through
yeah,
this.
she also, she
Okay.
did make me this cool.
He doesn't mind it.
widget on your toothpaste holder.
Oh, you're
So
right.
your toothpaste is on your toothpaste down.
Karen and Zoe are mine.
Really like try to prioritize.
Okay.
We're showing 7 o'clock.
All right, everyone, we're going to get started. I'd like to call the meeting to order. It is 7 o'clock, and we'll start with our roll call. Councilmember Navarrete.
Here.
Councilmember Aguilar.
Here.
Councilmember Lamb.
Here.
Councilmember Byrd. Here. I am present. We do have a quorum. The vice mayor is excused, as is Councilmember Tomerlin, although he might be coming in late. I know he's been working out of town. We're going to move on. Everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, an invocation, and a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for bringing us all here together safely. Lord, protect all of our communities and all of America in this very unique time that we are experiencing. Help us to come together for good decisions, and most importantly, protect one another. In Jesus' name we pray, amen. And thank you. A quick moment of reference. We did lose one of our residents, Mr. Orville Hayes, and I know many have a strong connection and remembrance of his role in our community, and we send our respects to his family. We're going to move on to our special presentations tonight, and that is a presentation and update on Pinal Partnership. We have our Pinal Partnership President, Craig McFarland, who's the former mayor of Casa Grande, and they do a really good job supporting our community. So Craig, we're excited to hear your presentation.
Thank you, Mayor. This is for your record.
Thank you.
And I just brought, if you don't mind, go to the bench. This is just the list of our committees, and a nice map of Pinal County. You can all use, and my phone number is on there, so call me anytime. I'll leave these for you, too. Thank you, council members. First of all, thank you, Mayor Mila and council members for the opportunity to speak to you tonight. My name is Craig McFarland, and I am the President and CEO of Pinal Partnership. I've been in this role now since January 1. I ended my 8 years as mayor of the city of Casa Grande in December of last year, as I was term limited. And so this opportunity came up to help move and grow with the Pinal Partnership. And we've really appreciated the partnerships that we have with our municipal governments. I have a special place in my heart for municipal governments, and appreciate the hard work that you all do and the sacrifices that you make. And so I thank you for your service. most people don't realize what goes into being a council member. So it's a lot of work. So this is just to give you a little update on the organization. As you all are members of this organization, and we go through this, there's opportunities for any of you to participate in our committees. I gave you a list of those committees that are on that one kind of small square sheet or rectangular sheet. And it covers everything from water, and I'll talk about it here in the presentation, but there's opportunities there if you want to participate. You certainly are invited to do so. Also participate in the breakfast, which we have the first Friday of every month. So these are all a lot of the members. So you can see there's a lot of utilities. There's all of our municipalities. The county is a member as well. And so we work with Resolution Copper. I mean, so all of the copper companies are members. We have 4 major copper companies now in Pinal County. So we have really become kind of the copper. I know you guys claim the copper corridor, but I think Pinal County can claim the copper corridor as well. So it's really growing in terms of the impact in this county. So this is our mission. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but really we do our breakfast the first Friday of every month, and it's really a lot of different types of topics. The next one is on water, on the state of water in Pinal County, and then in November we're going to do one on the state of Santan Valley, which is obviously the new incorporation of the largest city to be incorporated in the state of Arizona's history, which will be Santan Valley. And so we're going to invite a couple of the new council members because they'll be selected by then. So it should be an interesting breakfast, and we're going to also do the breakfast in Santan's area. So it'll be a good event to attend. We have 8 different committees, which I've already mentioned. These committees help establish policy. We also have an emerging leaders initiative, which we're trying to cultivate the next generation of Pinal County leadership. A lot of the events which I mentioned, we do a water management, we have legislative updates, we have the state of energy. We were actually one of the first organizations to recognize the importance and the situation we're in with regard to energy here in the state of Arizona. And the fact that in the next 10 years, it's taken us 140 years to get to the energy level we have today. In the next 10 years, we have to double that. So there's a very severe energy need that's coming, and we need to be ready for it. So those are some of the things we work on. We have an energy committee that actually is working on that. We do a state of the education workforce. We've done state of the economy, economic development. We do the mayors. We've done the supervisors. So we try and make those breakfasts relevant to the topics of the day. And I think that's why we sell out every time. We're having in excess of over 150 people now at every one of the breakfasts. In fact, it sells out and we have to turn people away. If people know what the word RSVP is, they don't use it very well. So that's just a side joke for me. So again, these are the committees. They're on that list. I won't go through all of them, other than to highlight the Economic Development Committee, the Transportation, and the Water Resources and the Energy. Those really are going to be the big 4 this next year. I've taken on the initiative to work with ASU on our Transportation Committee, and we're beginning to put out these agreements that we're going to ask the municipalities to participate, but we'll have it's basically just an agreement to use your data and ask for you to help contribute your data. We'll obviously keep it confidential, but we're going to dump it all into one big AI computer, which is the decision theater at ASU, and then have that decision theater collecting all the data and then use that data to tell us where our future roads should go in our county. So we had to take a step back from the PRTA, which Mayor is very familiar with, and so we're basically starting over with a new plan. I was able to get the 505, the Loop 505 designation, and so I don't know if you've been following the north-south corridor, but the north-south corridor, they've actually renamed the 505. So they've given validation to my request for the naming of that loop. So
If we had one win from the PRTA when you were our chair, that was one.
that was
Naming
it.
the
That's
505.
it. Unfortunately, after 6 years of a lot of work, we had one win. But I think this will be a better system. We'll have the opportunity to now build a road system that's based on data. And it'll be based on everybody's data, all the municipal data, all the county data, even MAG's data and ADOT's data. So we'll put this all together and have it in one spot, which does not exist today. So this is an experiment. Dr. Crow from ASU is totally behind it. In fact, he wanted to use this as an example of how we can use their system to solve problems and move forward in the state of Arizona. So it's very forward thinking and it's pretty exciting. Again, some of the projects, and I've already kind of preempted myself on some of these, but we did help in the 2024 renewing the transportation and maintenance effort. We actually paid for a lot of advertising to help move that needle and get it approved. Along with the municipal governments, they helped a lot. The Pinal County creating interactive maps, and one of those maps is the one that's in front of you there. It will show you some of the development that's going on in the county. And then also the current projects, we hired a lobbyist in January. After I came on board, we hired two lobbyists and their team to work at the Capitol. And we were able to get two major pieces of water legislation passed this last year, which one was the Ag to Urban. So the ability for agriculture to actually convert some of their grandfather water rights to urban use, which did not exist in the past. If you were a farmer and you had grandfather water rights and you sold your land, the water rights went away. Today, they can now sell their land, and a certain percentage of that water right can now be conveyed to a municipal use and or industrial use. We also got some rule changes last October that now allows for non-designated water providers like Arizona Water, who is your water provider, it's also Cascadande's water provider, to become designated. What that means now is you don't have to go get a 100-year water certificate. If you have a designation, a pool of water, wherever their pipe runs, they can build a house or they can build an industry. And the designation accounts for all water use, whether it's industrial, commercial, apartments, or single-family residents. So it's a good thing because now we're really accounting for all the water. And it gives these utilities the opportunity to become designated, which is also very good. So this lobbying effort really has been key this past year. We also got some transportation dollars. We got some dollars for 24 extension. We got dollars for the ASU plan. That was $1.3 million, and also a huge amount of money for Maricopa and the 347. So those were three big transportation initiatives that we lobbied for last year as well. So it's been a good effort. It's not cheap to hire lobbyists, so we're now working to try and cover those costs. So again, I already talked about the ASU. We do have a golf tournament. It is sold out, but if you'd like to advertise in it, please let me know. We're always looking for some help.
Sponsors, yes.
Yeah, bottles of wine. Thank you. Thank you,
You're
Mayor.
welcome. It's my contribution.
This is my final slide. I didn't want to take too much of your time, but just to give you a little economic outlook, this is the projected growth in Pinal County for the next 10 years, 32%. So the county is growing. We have definitely been noticed by certainly most of the state of Arizona, but also nationally by a lot of outside companies. So it's a pretty exciting time, I think, to be in Arizona. And we have diversified our economy. So if there is another housing downturn, which we're kind of in one now, a little one, because of the price of money, it's not going to impact us like it did in 08, 07, 08. So we were very reliant on home building. And so this is a really exciting time, I think, for Arizona as a whole, but especially for Pinal County. We have 6 of the top 15 cities population growth in Pinal County. Santan Corporation obviously is a big deal. It's going to impact all of us. It's going to impact our municipal budgets. I know for a fact that in the city of Casa Grande, it'll impact them about $3.5 million to their budget. So it will impact the cities in our shared revenues. So something to make sure you keep an eye on. And we will have that discussion as well on that November 7th breakfast. We will be talking about the impact on our municipal governments. The economy, again, as I already mentioned, is more diversified. Water transportation, energy, mining, education, workforce development, key drivers to our economy. Energy is going to be key in there. Obviously, as I've already mentioned, mining. In the mining industries alone, the 4 large mining industries, that could be upwards of 1,500 to 2,000 jobs when all of them get built out. And that doesn't count the construction jobs that would be there during the construction period of the mines. I know there are 2 that are by Casa Grande, both in the city limits. One is the open pit mine, which has been there for years, the old Sarco mine, and then the other is actually the Ivanhoe Electric mine, which is going to be all underground, and it'll be highly robotic. It's totally different in terms of what we think of in terms of my grandfather's mining. It's a new industry, very sustainable, very conscientious, which I know you all are very familiar with as you work with Resolution Copper. So that's, I think, all I have. My name, my phone number, that QR code will take you to our website. There's also a QR code on the materials I gave you if you want to go check out the entire website. I invite you to participate in the committees, be part of this group. It's a good group. It's very diversified, and I think you find it extremely interesting to be a part of it. So, and I thank you for being a part of it.
Craig, we thank you for coming up and giving us this presentation. I think it's great for our council and our residents to know about this organization. I know I appreciate the knowledge that we get when we're able to attend the breakfast, and Craig isn't lying when he says that there's like literally standing room only, and that you've really done, you and Rena have really done a good job with kind of the revamping of how all this is going. I think, congratulations on your success, on your lobbying efforts. I think it was a very smart move. Council, does anybody have any questions from Mr. McFarland?
Anything can't be as hard as answering questions as mayor. So.
Do you have anything?
Well,
Thank you.
we do thank you, and just a credit to Mr. Shank as our intern. He attends the economic development meeting regularly and the open spaces and trails meeting, and I know that's helped us to make some really good relationships with different partners and making sure that Superior story stays relevant on all that's going on in Pinal County. So we appreciate you that there's a seat for us at that table.
Well, thank you, and I really want to congratulate the town of Superior. You guys have done an amazing job in the last 8 years or so. And the new school/future site, I think, for City Hall is super exciting. And your Maker Center there is amazing. I've toured all of it. I was at your groundbreaking for the bridge. We took a tour with Arizona Water, looked at your entire system, all the way from the wells to your tanks. So you guys have done an amazing job with Superior, and I just want to say congratulations.
Thank you, we appreciate that. Well, we're gonna keep moving on here to mayor's report.
I'm working on it.
Just a little update. Obviously, we had our August recess, and it was nice to have a little bit of a break, but we were very busy attending to the Brownfields Conference, which at the end of the day, I ended up on the mayor's plenary opportunity, which I spoke in front of 2,800 people. I was the only We were represented what was the smallest town, the only state west of the Mississippi, the only woman on the stage, and it was very interesting to share our story and the opportunities that Brownfields has afforded, not only Superior, but the entire Copper Corridor region. People are really looking to what we did as building a coalition, and I was able to speak on 2 panels. The scholarship afforded Todd to be able to go, and so he was able to also network and participate in a lot of the forums. It was probably, of all the conferences that we've been to, really informative and very relatable, and lots of people across the country wanted to know more about our specific story. I think what was interesting is to realize how in the West, in comparison to the Midwest and the East, we're kind of new to using brownfields in an effective way, whereas other communities, say Appalachia, I met a mayor from a small town there, and in West Virginia, and they've had struggles, and right away they were able to use brownfields dollars to really keep their communities going. And it was very interesting to see that and make those connections, and some of those relationships are still building. On one of the panels I spoke on, there was a gentleman who's working with the mines actually in Minnesota, and they've made all these really cool mountain biking trails, and how, again, much like our story, ecotourism and mining can play right along. And so I know he's planning a visit out to come to Arizona and told me to come and see Superior. So I think this was a really great way to share a lot of our stories. We were, of course, at the League Conference. Myself and Vice Mayor Alonso also received our 12-year awards, and it's kind of an inflection point to think of how long, what we've done in 12 years. It was really a good conference. We had an excellent keynote this year, Bruce Vincent, and it was almost as if he was speaking to us, specifically to rural Arizona, but to Superior specifically, on how we message the importance of minerals and kind of our way of life for our economy when we are in this vacuum of a lot of controversy and all of that and opposition. How do we better message what's important to us? So I know we all kind of felt very optimistic after hearing his speech. So that was very exciting, and despite having a break, August felt like it was very busy. Obviously, as we are moving into those preparations for our mitigation agreements, that will start rolling very quickly after a record of decision is complete and the lands are exchanged for resolution. So even though there's a little appellate stay right now, it's an administrative stay on moving the land exchange forward. That's kind of new, it's not normal, but that's where we're at right now with that. There's a lot of work, and that's taken. It was nice to have an August break for meetings, but I know Todd and I probably spent more time in other meetings because of all the other work that's going on. So Todd, do you have anything else to add as our ancillary updates?
Yes, very quickly, the wastewater treatment plant tank, they are welding up the hole in the side. They've added all the baffles, done all the main welding work. They're just buttoning it up now. It should be painted in the next couple of weeks. So we are getting very close to being able to turn on the new wastewater treatment plant, or our new to us reused wastewater treatment plant. The Panther sidewalks that we got approved for planning last year, they have approved it for the actual construction. It's a good example of what's happening to the inflationary environment. It was 1.4 with engineering when we started. Now it's 1.9 just to build it. So this inflationary environment is going to be a challenge for all of our capital projects for the next few years. And we just have to be very cognizant of that getting the initial grant just may start the next phase of fundraising. Really, that's all I have for tonight.
Did you say the completion of the wastewater plant is going to be done?
I'm sorry, I can barely hear you, but I believe October is a possible date to have the actual main work done. We of course know when you get something that big up and running, there's going to be troubleshooting and getting it all seated and switched over. The anticipated done and out date is January.
Okay. Anything else, Todd? Is that the conclusion of your little update?
Yes.
Okay. All right, we're going to move on to the consent agenda, and we have approval of minutes of town council meeting from July 10th, 2025, approval of Department of Liquor licenses and control special events licenses for Tatum, Sydney Hansen at Boys Thompson Southwestern Arboretum for the Green Gala event on Saturday, November 8th, 2025, from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. located at the Boys Thompson Arboretum, 37615 East Arboretum Way, Superior, Arizona. Approval of Arizona Department of Liquor License and Control Special Event License for Suzanne and Dubasar Superior Optimist Club for the Witches Brunch event on Saturday, October 26, 2025, from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. located at the Chamber of Commerce, 165 West Main Street, Superior, Arizona. Approval of Public Safety Personnel Retirement System Pension Funding Policy. The intent of this policy is to clearly communicate the Council's pension funding objectives and its commitment to our employees and the sound financial management of the town, and to comply with new statutory requirements of laws 2018, Chapter 112. Approval of Town of Superior Declaration of Visit Superior as its destination marketing DMO, organization DMO. Approval of intergovernmental agreement between Pinal County, a political subdivision, and the state of Arizona and the Town of Superior for participation in Pinal County's annual safety rodeo. Approval of intergovernmental agreement between Pinal County and Arizona Department of Housing and the Town of Superior for building plan review and inspection services for the Town of Superior. Approval of letter between Town of Superior and USDA. This letter transmit a statement of work for the appraisal of the Superior Airport and Fairview Cemetery, a proposed conveyance for the Tonto National Forest. Approval of lease agreement between Fruit Group and Superior Police Department for a Canon printer, and approval of request for proposals to develop a renewable energy plant at the Superior Airport contiguous properties. Council, is there anyone who wishes to either make a motion, or is there anything you'd like to remove and approve separately? Nothing. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion by Councilmember Tomlin. Do we have a second? Second by Councilmember Byrd. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. We're going to move on to our new business of the night, and that's discussion, possible approval of Resolution 2025-698, a resolution of the Town of Superior approving fiscal year 2024-25 general fund budget transfers, providing for an effective date. Recommendation: staff recommends approving Resolution 2025-698, approving the 2024-2025 fiscal year budget transfers. Council, is there any questions or comments on this? This is kind of an annual housekeeping agenda item. Hearing none, do we have a motion to approve? There is a motion by Councilmember Aguilar. Do we have a second? Second by Councilmember Navarrete. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. We have an agenda item tonight, discussion, possible approval of the Superior Police Department's take-home vehicle program. This is a town council decision, and discussion, the Superior Police Department's take-home vehicle program is supported by SPD 703 and 704. Enterprise has provided official cost per mile figures that are already included in the purchase price, projected resale value, and maintenance costs. By applying the CPM rates to officer mileage, SPD can demonstrate the true monthly cost of the program. The total monthly life cycle cost across all officers is approximately $131.77. No, that's not that. No, it is, right? Because you have a comment. Sorry, the comment right there. Did we miss something? Showing the program is modest in cost while delivering significant benefits. And I think we have the chief here. Council, I know we had an extensive report in our packet. So, Chief, if you want to come up and answer any questions that council may have, or give us a brief overview in addition to your report.
Mayor, I do want to clarify and make sure everyone on the council understands this is not a new program. This has been in existence since 2017, 2018. But this is just so that the council knows exactly how many vehicles are being taken home and what the resources go to that, so that we're transparent and that we all understand that there's a cost associated with this, but there's also a benefit to morale and other ways.
Good evening, Mayor, council members, and members of the community. My name is Chief Joaquin Manuel with the Superior Police Department. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to share an update on our take-home vehicle program. This program is backed by, just like Todd said, it's policy 703 and 704. This policy was implemented back in 2017, and it's not a new policy, just like Todd mentioned. It's a policy that we just want to reiterate and the benefits of this program. Officers, some of the things that the rules and the policy, it states that officers must secure vehicles and weapons at all times when they take their vehicle home. They have no inspection of privacy. We have the option to do inspections at any time. Any enforcements outside of town limits will be limited to only emergencies. Vehicle assignments is a privilege, not a right, and it can be taken and revoked at any time. So if there's an issue, I can make that decision to remove them from taking their vehicle home at any time. Officers are responsible for their upkeep of the vehicle, fueling, make sure that it's clean, and make sure that they're assigned to the vehicle that they're supposed to be in. Just like we talked about the cost analysis, a lot of this information that I was provided was from Enterprise, which is our fleet management. It does give you a breakdown of the vehicles, gives you a breakdown of the officers that use the vehicles. So it's a low cost for a high gain for the community and for the officers. The benefits, just like was mentioned, faster response times. If there is an emergency on the community and they're able to have their vehicles at home, they can respond in a timely manner. Some families out here only have one vehicle, and if the vehicle is being used by a spouse or by family members, it's great to have a vehicle that they can use and respond to any emergency that we might have on the community. So that is a faster response times. That's something that we definitely it's a benefit for the community. Increase police visibility. Obviously, yes, they are going to be in maybe other communities, but still a deterrent. In any community that you have a vehicle that's going to be parked either outside of your garage or coming out of your garage. Most of the time, a lot of these houses already have garages where they are going to be secure at that point. The cost is very minimal for officers to take our vehicles home. It's something that obviously that we talked about. It enhances recruitment. A lot of people that do apply with our agency, that's one of the things they'll ask. Are we able to take our vehicles home? We don't permanently let them take the vehicles home during their days off. During their 4-day or 3-day work week, they take the vehicles. On their Friday, they get back on their POV vehicles that are parked at the PD, and they take that vehicle on their days off. So it's only used, it's not permanent where they're using it all week. It's only during their work week. So I just want to make sure that's clear. I respectfully recommend, that Town Council continue to support the Superior Police Department's Take-Home Vehicle Program. On behalf of our officers, I want to thank you for your continued trust and support. And together we are building a safer and stronger Superior. And if anyone has any questions in regards to this program, or anything, I'll take any questions.
Council, do you have any questions for the chief on this?
The only thing I have, Chief, is there's people from Superior everywhere, and they gotta be aware of that. So they gotta be aware that it can't be somewhere where we get a call saying, and it's happened in the past, hey, are we doing something at Walmart? And I'm like, what? But I'm just saying they gotta be aware also that there's people from Superior everywhere. So.
Yes, I agree with you. And one of the things that we are not allowing is officers to take vehicles, their patrol vehicles, to do personal, tasks. Going to Walmart, or going to, if you're going to pick up some food at Chick-fil-A, go to the drive-thru, go home. That's fine. But to park and to be in another community, of course you're gonna get, you know, like you said, Superior residents are everywhere. And if they see a vehicle at Walmart or at Chick-fil-A or whatever, they're gonna ask questions. They're gonna know why is there a Superior, you know, marked vehicle at the business. You know, and it's gonna come back to me. And I have to justify, I have to know where our officers are at all times. We do have a system where we track our officers. We know where they're at all times until they get home and they, you know, they turn off their navigation system. So we do have accountability on that. So that's a good thing.
And Chief, I think I just want to echo Councilmember Aguilar's comments in that, you know, I see this as a good morale matter. I think it's something that obviously another chief, you know, happened, and I think it's good that we're bringing it back to policy. We're also in a different situation than we were maybe 10 or 15 years ago, where the budget was really not quite as looked over as mindfully. And so I appreciate that, you know, we can offer this, we can kind of continue this and put this in policy. But I do want to make sure that, echoing, again, Councilmember Aguilar, I've heard some things, you know, like, oh, officers driving maybe a little erratically or whatever on the US 60 or the 202 and whatnot, that this opportunity that we continue on good pride and good driving safety, especially if we're just driving our vehicles home. Just that's my only, like, you know, just a little bit of mindfulness there, that, you know, when they're in those vehicles, they are representing us at all times. And I know sometimes our officers do have to go run they have to go run errands, or they've taken somebody for a transport and whatever, and the department needs things. So I mean, we can answer those questions, but just remember that we're always a good decorum. I think this is now a time for council debate and or any motion to approve.
I move on.
Move to approve take-home vehicle.
Take-home vehicle for the police department.
Okay, there's a motion on the floor to approve the take-home vehicle program for the police department. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Byrd. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All in favor? So it's approved. Thank you, Chief. And then I know we have another one, so you might just want to just wait there. Our next agenda item, discussion, possible approval, Superior Police Department Policy 431, homelessness and homelessness encampments. This is a town council decision. Discussion, the purpose of this policy is to provide officers with clear guidance on how to address issues involving homeless individuals and encampments within the town of Superior. The intent is to balance enforcement of town code and Arizona revised statutes with the constitutional rights and dignity of unhoused individuals while ensuring public safety, officer safety, and coordination with outreach providers. And again, just council, this has come up because of the use of all of our outdoor trails and making sure that everything is safe, and kind of getting ahead of an inevitable situation as the Metroplex is not able to kind of house and service their homeless people. More mobile, unhoused people are coming our way, and we're dealing with it not just on the Forest Service, but sometimes on our trail. We want to have a humane policy, and I want to thank Mr. Cruz and our recreation. Everybody's kind of come together on this, and Chief's done all the research with other communities, what would kind of work for us. So Chief, do you have any other things to explain to us?
Yes, so, you know, I'm presenting the new policy 431. It outlines, you know, homelessness encampments in Superior, and we want to make sure that it's fair and it's safe and it's compassion to the homeless too. So we want to make sure we have balance with public safety and compassion, you know, because we all got to understand that being homeless is not a crime. It's not a crime. So that's something that we have to make sure we understand. Now, of course, you know, the Lost Trail, there's been issues there. We definitely understand that. And we know that that's a vital part of this community. And we know that it's been impacted public safety with trail accessibility and the environmental, you know. So we have came up with this policy to really give us a guideline, give our department a guideline, our officers, what to do when they encounter an encampment, when they encounter homeless. We want to make sure that we are compassionate with what's going on, but at the same time, we want to make sure that they understand that there are ordinances, there are codes here, there is state law with trespassing, nuisance, and all those different things that they have to understand that they could face if they don't remove themselves. Now, we also got to understand that it's a very touchy thing about personal property, and we have to make sure that we understand what personal property is and what trash is, because there's case law that we can be liable for their personal property or they're violating their civil rights. So we have to make sure we understand that part. We have came up with a notice of vacate, which is a form. I'm not sure if you got that. So that form, it's a good form because we'll have every officer carrying these forms.
It's
And
the last
there is-
page of your packet for council.
Yeah, it's a form that we're gonna be able to provide the homeless, any encampments. We're gonna give them this form. We're gonna make sure they understand that they need to be removed, that they need to move out. They'll have 72 hours on a standard cleanup. Again, it's gonna take time to figure out what personal property is and what trash is. If it's a health hazard or any emergency, they're gonna have 24 hours to remove themselves. Again, when we do that, we have to offer them resources. We work with Horizon Health Services, I believe. They are willing to work with us, and they're willing to come down and they're willing to provide maybe a relocation, maybe a different place where they can go, maybe some food, maybe some shelter, but they are going to be given those resources. They're just not going to be just left to travel, 3-4 blocks down the road and then set up camp there. So we definitely don't want that to happen. So we want to make sure that they are provided this flyer, provided the information. We are being accountable for everyone that we make contact with, that we are keeping, names of all the people that we've spoken to, make sure that we're photographing all the belongings, the encampment, things like that. We asked ourselves one of the things as well, how is PD going to check, this trail that could be, it's a little over a mile, I believe, at least within the town. We're gonna have our officers every day walking down the trail. No, we came up with some ideas, some great ideas. We have a side-by-side that was donated by the military surplus several years ago when Chief Alanis was here. We are gonna get that going, and we're gonna put lights on it where we're gonna be able to use that. I mean, the weather's getting great now where we can, take the side-by-side and go down the trail and make sure everything's good. Another option we talked about was drones. We can get a drone and pull the drone, through the trail, and go by the businesses and make sure, at least check those areas and make sure, that we're checking them on a consistent basis. I know that we have volunteers that come every month and they walk the trail and they report to us and let us know what's going on, and that's great. That's great to have volunteers. It's great to have people that are going to go down there and identify if there's any issues, any trash, any encampments, or anything like that. What we do ask is the community to report to us if they come across, if they're on a walk, if they're on a bike ride or whatever it is, if they come in contact with homeless, they come in contact with encampment, to not engage, to just be a good witness and call us, and we will go and deal with the situation. It just makes it a lot easier, and it allows us to do our job, and it checks your safety and doesn't cause any problems. Just real quick, I talked about the partnerships with Horizon Health and Wellness, a partnership with Public Works to help us, go out there and help us clean up. I mean, that's something that Nick me and him have talked about, and his department's willing to help us out with. Animal care and control too, because remember, a lot of these encampments have these dogs that they take with them. So we also have to be, compassionate about the dogs and making sure that they're safe, and if they need to be taken, to animal control, we will take care of it. Residents, again, I talked about reporting, just supporting the police department, supporting our community, and making sure that these trails are clean and that we don't have any issues. Again, I talked about a little bit about the process. If it comes to a point where we have to cite on our town codes, we will, or any ARS codes, which is the trespassing, criminal trespassing, we'll also take action on that end. Just in closing, again, it's an effective policy that's going to protect our community, respect the rights of the homeless, and also just make sure our officers are clear in exactly what they need to do when they come in contact. In closing, this policy is about balance. We protect our community spaces while showing compassion. We give officers clarity while strengthening our partnerships. Together we can address this homeless issue in a way that both is effective and humane. And that, to me, is what I believe this policy will help us, and hopefully we can move forward with this policy. Thank you.
Chief, I appreciate all the work that you've done on this, and I know, just for everyone's knowledge, the miners and ranchers segment that's kind of adjacent comes right off of Panther Drive and all the way up to Porters. It's probably our highest used urban trail that is used by residents to get kind of under the highway and get from places. It's a really great trail, but it's also a trail that, because it's used so much, we're also experiencing more trash. It's an attractive place for the homeless. It kind of butts up against some neighborhoods in town. So this is really important because we've been working on this, but without a good policy. So this kind of protects everybody in general and puts some humanity in place. And the other thing is, Lost will be investing weekly in a group that's going to come out. They're going to pick up trash once a week on the trail and help with the monitoring. So they'll have a reporting structure to let PD know if there's a homeless person, not to engage, but to take a picture, locate the site, to also help with additional monitoring, because we know you guys get busy, and that's going to be a big help too, so we can keep this moving in a positive way and continue to address this issue. Council, does anybody have any questions or comments on this policy?
This does not include squatters' rights. Does it?
We can figure out a way to implement it, I guess, but
I'm just asking.
Yeah, and that's something that we can kind of
go into any house
Yeah.
if it's vacant and has
and there's a lot of issues in
Yeah,
other
I
towns
just-
that's happening, but
Yeah.
that's something that we can implement and kind of work with that policy too with it.
There is kind of different case law around that. You're ending up, you have to find somebody to trespass them, or you have to evict them, or, there are other laws that apply to that one, and operates a little different. And that used to be much more prevalent in the town's history. When we had 98 vacant buildings, now we have 20. So it's not near the issue that it was previously. But in the past, there were at any one time 2 or 3 houses that were abandoned that people were occupying.
Any questions?
I just have one question. Where are we at with like the tip line, hotline type things? I know a lot of people don't want to call like the dispatch center and tie them up with just reporting like a homeless encampment or somebody in our food courts or something like that. Where are we at with doing something like that? I know we had talked about 911.
Yeah, so I met with Darren several weeks back, and we're finalizing the project. And I believe we have talked to Todd about those things, and that's something that Darren and I would like to come forward and an emergency services meeting and provide that information. So that's something that we definitely are working on, and we should have more information on it. But that's a great program. I think it's going to benefit the community. I give you a lot of props for how you moderate Facebook. It's amazing what you do and the information you provide to the community. But Tip Line also will be an extension of that, and I think it would be a great thing for our community and any surrounding communities, because we have other communities in the area that use it that we can link up to, which is a great program.
So I think that will help with reporting that. 'Cause like I said, a lot of people don't want to call like the main dispatch center just to say, hey, I've noticed that somebody's been set up camp here. And
There was just a lot of things that we needed to iron out with the privacy part of it, on how it's going to be reported. But I think we were able to square that away with Darren, so I think we have something in place that we would like to put together. So definitely.
So in the meantime, if someone does report, like not calling 911, it would just be the regular non-emergency Superior Police Department number, or?
It would be the non-emergency number, the PE, or you just call the non-emergency 911 now. They should be able to provide us that information too.
There's a non-emergency 911?
For Canal?
Yeah. So what if,
8665111.
Yeah, I don't recall what the number is, but they do have a non-emergency.
okay, that's news to me.
A better way to say it is this is non-emergency dispatch. It goes to the 911 call center, but it's their
It's
non-emergency.
just
In other words, it's the line they don't pick up as most urgently, but if you've got that kind of like, I need to report something, that's where it can start, and they'll dispatch an officer out. See, and I didn't know the number.
I'm not the only one who didn't know that.
Okay, well, we are at the time to make a motion to, when will this take effect, this particular policy? Is this immediate, or is there like a 30-day window?
The way police and department policies work, once the chief signs it, it's official. The town can advise and consent, but the chief can operate under it as soon as he initiates that.
Okay, so that'll be a good report to give back to LOS, because they want to get started on that cleanup, so they know the policy is in effect. That's a whole, we can talk about that. Do we have a motion to approve the Superior Police Department Policy 431, homelessness and homelessness encampments? There's a motion by Councilmember Burr. Is there a second? Second by Councilmember Aguilar. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Chief. This was good work. We got two big policies through here, so thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. I know this wasn't on the agenda, but I wanted to introduce my lieutenant that was hired, if that's okay.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, great. So, this is Lieutenant Juan Garcia. Juan Garcia comes from Gila River Police Department with many, many years of experience. He was part of a task force under my supervision prior to coming here, and did some great work with gangs and drugs. That was basically his expertise. He brings a lot of knowledge, a lot of experience with working with other agencies. So this would be a great addition to our team, because I know that there are issues that are more than just your burglary. We've got issues with drugs, being sold out here, with gangs that are bleeding over from other towns. He's an expert in gangs and in prisons, because we all know that there's a lot of gangs in prisons that when they come out, they will go to certain areas where they're going to start their business and stuff like that. So I'm going to introduce you to him. Whatever he wants to say, I know that we're short on time too. So.
I just want to say thank you for having us here tonight. I've been here for a couple of months. I really like it. Just here, I'm happy to help, and I know we can get started right away. We have some work to do that I've seen so far, but I'm just here to help, and happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Welcome. Thank you. Welcome.
And I did work with your son.
All right. Well, Chief, again, thank you, and welcome, Lieutenant Garcia. We do have a little agenda switch. We're going to move agenda item E, discuss possible approval and changes to dependent insurance policies, increasing the match from 50 to 75%. This is agenda item E, and we're going to bring up D, but we have to go into executive. So discussion, possible approval of changes to dependent insurance policy, increasing the match from 50 to 75%. This is a town council decision. This change was requested by the fire chief and will improve retention. This will cost about $10,447 this year and $13,929 each year following at current enrollment levels. Council, do we have any discussion on this? I know Mr. Pryor's given us a pretty thorough update and the cost analysis on this.
The chief's here if you would like to ask him any questions about his request. To be clear, this is for the entire town and not just the fire
Not
department.
just fire department. So as you all know, we're experiencing retention issues, and we're also going to be going into a period of hiring new firefighters, police officers, and we know there's some impacts that we can expect. So these are ways to, in a mindful way, add some benefit to our employees to help with that retention. So council, unless there's any questions or comments, do we have a motion to approve?
I just have one question. When will this take effect on the employees' checks?
It would take effect the next bill date, which is in October.
Okay, so this will take effect in October. Is there a motion to approve? There's a motion by Councilmember Aguilar. Is there a second? Second to Councilmember Tomerlin. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. We do need to go into executive session regarding agenda item D, but to be fair to the public, we'll go to do summary of current events, because in case none of you are sitting here, and we'll do call to the public when we come out. We'll give you that opportunity. So we'll do call to the public. Is there anyone from the public wishing to address the council? You have 3 minutes. Mr. Shank.
I'll be quick. The mayor was nice enough to introduce me as the town intern. I'm here as the vice president of Lost. I would like to thank the police chief and town council for working on this homeless policy. This has been a big deal, and along with Public Works and Nick, this has been a real headache. So I appreciate we're moving forward on this. I'd just like to mention that the trail is non-motorized, and one of our problems is with residents putting side-by-sides on that section of the trail. So we'd like to keep the police department side-by-side off the trail unless it's an emergency. So anyway, thank you again very much.
Thank you. Is there anyone else from the public wishing to address council? Going once, going twice. All right, no one else is here to address the council. We'll go ahead and do our summary of current events for council. We'll start with Mr. Lamb. Councilmember Byrd.
I just wanted to say that I met and the fire police department did an active shooter training at the high school a couple weeks ago, and I was very impressed with their coordination and their ability to take constructive criticism to each other and work together to improve the safety of our schools. So I just want to commend them on that effort, and they're supposed to have another one in the fall, so I look forward to seeing hopefully the school be involved in that as well with the teachers. So hopefully we can get that going, and it went really well. I was very impressed.
You provided pizza for them, so thank you for doing that. Councilmember Tomerlin.
We attended the League of Cities and Towns conference, and it was really great. It was great information, great time. Superior partnered with San Luis to burn the house down on our first ever time participating in the showcase. It was a great time, and we made a lot of great connections. Fiestas this weekend, I believe, so don't forget, show up and support your local organizations. That's all I have.
Councilmember Navarrete.
I don't have anything to add to that.
Councilmember Aguilar. All right, well, yeah, just don't forget, where I think the Fiestas are going to be quite the blast this year. They brought in a lot of good entertainment. It's starting to cool off, so great time to go out and do some hiking. And just a reminder, State of the Town is the first Thursday in October, so that's October 2nd, and that is going to be a good time. And again, just a reminder to council, if you have any fun songs to talk about in our top 10 playlist, please let me know. It's looking, it's a very interesting playlist as of right now. But this is going to be a great event. At this time, we'll move back to agenda item D for our executive session. Council, do we have a motion to go into executive session with our attorney, the clerk, and Mr. Pryor? There's a motion by Councilmember Byrd, is there a second?
We-
Second.
As a reminder, Mayor, we do need to set a time on it.
I know. Say an hour.
No more than an hour.
So, do you still second her motion? And Councilmember Navarrete continues to second the amended first motion. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. All right.
Reminder to anybody staying in here, the video is still running, so still don't say anything you don't want your grandmother to hear.
That was an easy one.
Monthly for each, for each officer to take home.
Yes. So it breaks it down. It really does not.
I just wish we had more officers staying in our town.
I know. That makes it a lot better. Yeah. But we're working on trying to get to it.
The other thing I have is I'm a realist, so many times squatters after the front porch. I have called, well, first off, I just asked Polly if it's something they do. I have had a conversation.
I'll check it out. It's good to see you.
Is there any resources? Is there something?
So provide. I'm so happy. We are willing to help food shelters, even people's jails, or maybe on the other side of meetings. You know, they're willing to do those.
But there are shelters.
They are shelters, yes.
That's really good to know.
Yeah, and there are, they have been on it, they all said, help us, willing to come out here and help us. So I'm gonna take advantage of it. I'm gonna take advantage of it.
You really feel bad.
No, you do. The sad thing is, you know, they used to start judging as that's why it's important to have a so that we can also.
So is that why we're seeing some new ones?
It's
Because we pretty much knew they were homeless, but now I see new people.
we'll deal with that. We'll just do
It's not a question. I've had to deal with squatters in the growth breakers. There's really no squatter rights. Because, I mean, I
Now,
have
we
to
can
myself
technically
into it as long as the, the landlord has to also tell you that.
they have to stay there.
Yes.
So we can use the same code that we have for Chinese code
or whatever's on the light side. You know, obviously, I'm more about prevention than anything.
You can hang out first, you do a call bar, you can have maybe better for both, hey man, you got a call.
I'm out.
So that was. Really? Sometimes watching lineback keeps.
You're the military, so you know.
You're the chief. Yes. Is the normal behavior of an officer driving over 85?
Yeah, it shouldn't be, obviously not, unless you're going to a call. Yeah. Were you able to get the vehicle on?
All the way into town.
Were you able to get
And
the
when I
vehicle?
came up to the station down there, Mr. Black's wife,
Nobody came up.
all they did was stop right by the Circle K.
Did you get the vehicle number out?
Yeah, wasn't supposed to speed up and drive.
The same as you did, come across it was the passenger or something like that?
How did that look? That's what
Does it have a decal on it, or just the regular? Just the regular, you can see it. You could pause it, so you can take a picture.
I know that.
We'll definitely address it.
We'll take care of it.
Oh, okay. Rental works, that kind of stuff.
And you're right, this is not behavioral. That's why I'm showing my speed.
I'm going 83.
Yeah, no, 85 and 90.
And like when Gilbert spoke up about other trucks and PD, I go to the EO's gym, right, and Signal View. I've watched the Superior Police Department truck in that parking lot.
Windshield.
The EO's right off the Signal View. Right on the street.
There was one of these.
Twice.
You don't do anything. If you ever see it again, we don't know. But you know what? But you know what? If you ever see it again, do me a favor, send it to us.
They're so, it's took them almost a week.
Well, take a screenshot. Let me see if I can do a screenshot.
Yeah, give me five, because mine's a little fuzzy.
Six. I bet.
Yeah, we really like to use that.
The whole thing is like, Michael's over there on the counter. He's like, well, they have
Go
all
by
that.
that. Somebody said, I said, I'll look at my pictures.
Now I fall in town.
I can see
Stop right across the street.
turn on.
Nothing, no lights, no nothing.
No call, if you was going to call.
So it isn't on the.
Listen to that story.
Do you know what day that was?
No,
We can find it at another warehouse too.
it's Mark on the phone. July 22nd.
July 22nd. You mind if we get your name, so, you know, call you back and let you know that we did
No,
something
I
out?
can't see that. I'm on there. That's on the screenshot.
Okay.
See you, Chief.
Good job, Chief.
Nice meeting you.
I don't want to show you guys.
See you, Chief.
This one's gonna get me in trouble with that. See this? That's a fire lane, right? It's against the law, it's parking fire lane. I showed that to two officers last night while it was going on. Nobody did anything. I know. I looked it up and it said,
Yes,
you
you're right.
can park there to unload, but the driver has to be sitting in the truck. That's why I stopped.
Was it there for a
Right
while?
there. It was there for like 30 minutes. And then I made sure I viewed inside the camp. There's nobody in the camp. The guys were at Mila's boyfriend's vineyard, that little boozy vineyard thing. That's twice I thought. And I said, but you know that.
What's her name?
Huh?
What's her name?
Her?
No, Bruce.
I don't know. That's her boyfriend. Mila, that's his boyfriend. That little boozy vineyard. And the first time I looked at, just so you know, I got no reason to freaking lie about anything. The first time I caught her, I recorded it, and she came out. And last time I complained about something, I don't know where it's at, somewhere there. But last time I complained, one of these town councilmen called my parole officer. You know what I mean? I stay because I spent 26 years in state prison. So when I come home and see a city official abuse the law that I got held accountable for 26 years of my life, I wonder why. Because I grew up in this town. I love this town.
And the good thing is that you're here representing yourself and making sure that everything's good to go.
But when I see
I
that.
mean, I'm glad that you approached us, I'm glad that you're talking to us, I'm glad that you are telling us your concerns. I mean, I have no judgment against you because you served time. You know, just like you said, you are a resident here, this is your home.
And that's not to be disrespectful to either one of them.
Yeah.
But I don't care who has an opinion on where I've been.
Yeah.
Because where I've been has made me the person I am today.
Absolutely.
It doesn't have no effect on who I am. Because I'm saying, if I'm staying within the line, I don't care if you guys won't help me. No, I give you guys. I don't care. I don't care. I don't do drugs. I pay my toll. No matter what. I'm not threatening you. I'm not threatening them. But if I'm recording them and saying, hey, are you supposed to record me? One would just say no. If I gave you an excuse and pulled over in the middle of the street and just slapped the shit out of him, I just slapped him. I didn't beat him up. That's an excuse. That's not a reason. That's the difference between people. You know what I mean? But I tell you this, I try to record it just so you guys can see. Because I sit here and I'm like, dude, you guys are allowing cops to take their trucks home? I can't take a company truck home every day.
Well, we'll definitely look
Because
into
then
that.
I'm watching one passing at 85 miles per hour and I'm like,
Yeah.
well, let me take that so I could try and catch this because I wanted to catch the license plate and the tolls up and up and back. And I'm trying, and I realize if I keep going faster, I'm gonna wreck.
So were you coming into
I
town?
was driving that's coming to security. That's what I'm saying. I followed him all the way. He stopped across from the Circle K, and I drove up and turned, went up to where the old police station
Do you
used
remember
to
if it was like, was it early in the morning?
No, it was in the afternoon. I get off of work at 3:30. I go to the gym. I stay at the gym till like 5:10. Head back to Superior every day.
So,
But now I don't live
so
here.
what time do you think it was? Like about 5:30?
It had to have been about 5:30.
Okay.
July 22nd.
Because I drive up here.
Yeah, because we don't have that many times.
And
So
so someone.
it's easy to track who it's gonna be.
And like I told my buddy, I said, dude, I don't care. I know what happened. And he's like, you're damn right. They can't do that. They're gonna just have 75 excuses as to why they justify their behavior. Okay, that's all fine.
Yeah, we'll address it.
I recorded it for
We'll
you
address
guys.
it.
Now it's on you guys.
We'll take care of it. We'll take care
But
of it.
my
Do you
name-
want us to contact you and let you know we took care of it, or would you see you around town and let you know?
Awesome.
Well,
I'm
what's your
gonna
name?
be here every.
What's your name?
Ricardo.
Ricardo, okay, Ricardo.
I'll be here every month.
Sounds good, man.
Because I don't like the way this stuff goes. Like if you're gonna worry about a homeless guy.
And we have an open door
Breaking
policy,
law.
man, if you wanna come down to the PD and talk about anything, let me know.
Because those two officers that I informed, well, their boyfriend was right there in the red zone.
Mm-hmm.
And wasn't in his damn car. I told him it was a black officer. I think he was a bigger Caucasian guy, a passenger guy. And I said, hey, is that against the law right there? And they said,
That was Wednesday.
no, it was just last night.
Well, yeah, Wednesday.
And,
Those guys work on Wednesday, I know Wednesday.
and it's like, well, I said, that's a priority. I said, when I looked it up, it says unless they're in the car, there's nobody in that car. And they go, well, is that your car? I said, yeah. I pulled over so I could videotape this stuff. Because if you guys are gonna allow that, I wonder what else is allowed. I shouldn't have to see any of that. It's those guys right here, and that guy's not part of that council, but his girlfriend is. They shouldn't be
We'll definitely
ignoring what their responsibility, because you're telling me, fuck you. If I go in there and drink and get drunk in public, no damn well, I'm gonna see somebody pulling the file.
All right, thank you, man. Take care. All right.
Julian.
It's empty.
They left it.
I don't like that you have to sit there.
That's where I sat the whole time. This-
Really? I guess, well, because I used to sit there, I sat there for 2 years.
Yes, I sat there and looked at, that's why I said, I'm not sitting there.
There will be a new council chambers hopefully by October of next year
Okay.
with a whole new podium.
Okay, so legal advice is over in executive session. We have a motion to return to regular session.
So moved.
There's a motion by Councilmember Tomlin. Is there a second? Second. Councilmember Byrd, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. We went through all of our other comment periods. Summary of scheduling of meetings and events, Emergency Services Committee, 9/18/2025, 6 p.m. Community Development Committee, 9/25/2025, 6 p.m. Planning and Zoning Committee, October 2nd, 2025, and the Town Council meeting, October 9th, 2025 at 7 p.m. With that being said, we have a motion to adjourn. Councilmember Navarrete makes a motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Byrd. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries, and we are adjourned at 8:19. Thank you, council. Thank you, staff. It's been a very busy summer, and I think our last part of the year is going to also be